perfectionism is an insecurity in disguise, and no one has it all figured out. Allow yourself to make mistakes, and when you make mistakes, laugh at yourself and learn from the experience. Your insecurity meter would reduce, and you become a more confident person, more secure in your own skin. Feeling insecure doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It begins from comparing ourselves to others and having unrealistic standards or setting unrealistic standards for ourselves. What's your insecurity? Is it your phone camera? I mean, that stuff shows you things that sometimes you swear don't exist in real life. I mean, just put on your front camera and you'll be like, is this me? No, this is not what I used to see in the mirror now. Right? For others, it could be that they don't feel enough. They know their potential. They know the kind of person they could be if they put in the work and if they show up. Seems like there is a huge gap between who you are and who you're supposed to be. You know, it's like there's something missing. And that makes them insecure. For others, it could be their looks, status. I think there's a difference between how we see ourselves and how others perceive us. I mean, sometimes we often view ourselves through harsh lenses, you know. And even though it's good not to use rose-tinted glasses when viewing our works, I mean, having a balanced view of ourselves, it's important if we need to be productive, right? So I think I've come to the conclusion that we need to do it while we are scared. Yeah. No matter how insecure I am, you are, we are, just do it even though you doubt yourself. It's about showing up, right? And not just showing up. You know, you could show up and be busy and still produce nothing. But being able to discern that there is a difference between being productive and being busy. You know, you might be busy and yet not be productive. But being able to strike that balance, you know, is gonna mean a lot. It's gonna help us to show up in the right way. So the real glow, I think the real glow comes from not just our looks. The real glow comes from our self-belief, you know. The real glow emanates from within and radiates outwardly. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So whatever insecurity we have, or whatever thing that makes us think little about ourselves, when we fix our self-belief, when we fix our internal dialogue, what we say to ourselves, you know, when we properly calibrate our insecurity meter, then I think we'll be able to reach our full potentials despite what others might say. Because we don't want to hinge our opinions on what people say. Instead of comparing yourself with another person, why not compare yourself with your past and see the difference? You know, this will motivate you to improve yourself, and you want to get better, right? Or why not keep a list of small wins, things that you've accomplished during the week? You know, when you see a list of things that you've accomplished successfully, this will motivate you to even want to do more, right? Instead of focusing on things that you feel are making you not enough, now these small wins will be able to fill in that hole that is making you insecure. Be mindful of the internal dialogue that you carry on within yourself. If you won't speak to your loved one in that kind of way, why speak to yourself that way? Why tell yourself you're not good enough if you won't speak to your loved one in that manner? Instead of saying I'm not good enough, which will increase my insecurity, why not say, well, I'm learning. I've not mastered this yet. However, I'm going to gather more knowledge that will help me to improve in this particular skill or in this particular area. You see, you've shifted perspective to a growth mindset instead of having a fixed mindset, because a fixed mindset will not help you to grow. A fixed mindset will keep you stuck in a comfort zone, you know. However, when you have the mindset that you've not gotten there yet, you're still under construction, opportunities for growth will be open to you, and you'll have rooms for improvement, you know. So this would also help to starve your insecurity. Yes, once you begin to look for opportunities for growth to become better, you know, your insecurities will be starved and you become a better person. We absorb the energy of the people we stay around, the people we associate with, the people we spend most of our time with. You know, unconsciously, you're absorbing the energy, whether you like it or not. So always stay around people who would celebrate your wins and people who will not look down on you or look down on your goals or your dreams, the visions you have for yourself. Surround yourself with people who would remind you who you are, even though you forget, right? So that's important, because if you begin to shrink yourself, if you begin to shrink yourself because of your sphere of influence, because of the people you associate with, of course your insecurity level would increase, right? However, if you are comfortable in your own skin, despite no matter where you find yourself, you know, your confidence will be boosted. So for some people, it could be the way they look, it could be the way they speak, it could be the way others perceive them, it could be the way they think about themselves. You know, some people could feel that they are not well respected enough. Others might feel they are not smart enough. What about you? What is your insecurity? Some could feel that they are not really worthy. Some could feel they are not valued. Some could feel they don't deserve whatever good thing is happening to them. Others could reason that they are not good enough and they are not well appreciated. For me, my insecurity is sometimes I feel I'm not doing as much as I should. Yeah. I feel there is a huge gap between who I am and who I think I'm supposed to be. So that eats me up sometimes and keeps me up at night. So we all have insecurities. Even the best of us, you know, we have insecurities, and insecurities are things that make us not confident in ourselves sometimes. Insecurity can steal our joy. Insecurity can steal your sleep. Insecurity can take away your peace of mind if you're not careful. So what can we do about insecurity? And different ways, shape. You could have insecurities in different ways or shapes or forms, dimensions, and it depends on circumstances, I think. You know, we don't want to be shaped by our insecurities, right? We don't want to allow the insecurities we have to define us. These insecurities, they are the things we tell ourselves. They are the beliefs that we've come to accept as the truth. However, we need to be careful, because what we believe is what we become. What we tell ourselves repeatedly is how we are going to condition our brain to think. And if you're always thinking that you're not good enough, you set your brain, or you condition your brain to always see faults in whatever you do, right? So even though you make small wins, even though you have small wins, even though you make great accomplishments and you do things that are awesome, your brain will find a way to maneuver. Your brain will find a way to, walk around those things and still find fault in what you do. So that's why it's dangerous, to believe or to accept an untruth to be the truth. It's dangerous for us to accept a lie as the truth. So it all starts from our mindset. It all starts from the way we think about ourselves, how we perceive ourselves, our perception. It all begins from our inner dialogue, what we tell ourselves, If you're always thinking you're not good enough, if you're always thinking you can't get this right, your brain would always look for ways to help you not to get things right. I mean, if you think that, okay, this project I'm about to undertake, or this program I'm about to enroll in, I'm not going to pass, your brain would find ways to sabotage that program, right? So that what you said already to yourself becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't even really need any prophet to tell you that you're going to fail. You've already told yourself, And one thing about life, one thing about our decisions is that our decisions are not set in stone, right? The future is not set in stone. We can make decisions and we can change our minds. And humans are very dynamic because we can change. And that is what neuroplasticity is all about, It all starts from the decision we make, What seeds am I planting in my head? Whatever thoughts you plant into your head is what is going to germinate and grow into the action that you take. So if I'm planting seeds of disbelief and seeds of low self-worth in my head, I'm always telling myself that I'm not good enough. Those are negative seeds, right? In time, if I continue to water those seeds, they will grow and they will produce ugly fruits, However, if I'm always planting seeds of positive thoughts and kind words, and I'm always watering them, taking care of how I think, those seeds will grow to become confident and they'll produce very good results, right? Our thoughts are like seeds, sorry. What we sow is what we will reap, right? What we plant is what will grow. What we think about is what we will do. So we need to be careful about our inner dialogue, what we tell ourselves, what you think about, because as a man thinketh, so he is, right? Confidence is like a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. So sometimes when you feel scared to speak up, maybe you're in public and you need to speak up, it's your turn to speak up. Don't let that opportunity pass you by. And grab it by the shoulders and make use of it. The more you use confidence, the more it grows. Dress in a way that exudes confidence. You will come to realize that the more you do things, even though you are feeling insecure, the more insecurity would loosen its grip on you.